Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to discuss Evil Season 2, Episode 4. E is for Elevator. Now, of course, Leland is back. Okay, Leland is back. And when he was gone last week, when he wasn't filmed last week, it gave the show... Whenever Leland is not around in a show, you can tell the difference, okay? Because he brings, like I said before, the comic relief. He's very funny. He's a pain in the behind. He's annoying, but he basically makes the show as well. So when he's not around, you do miss him. You can't help but to miss this idiot because the stuff that he does, just like when the show opened up and they were doing the exorcism thing. And of course, he's up there going through the motions, knowing there's nothing wrong with him at all. Okay? There is nothing wrong with him. There's nothing wrong with him. So at one point, he looks at David as they going through the exorcism. He looks at David and he makes a face. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. I don't even know why they even going through all this, but hey, it's for David to get, to become a priest. So they have to go through all of this. It's very interesting, this episode, because it's not only about the elevator, it's about David and trying to get into the Catholic Church, and racism is involved. So, it's a very interesting episode. David, you could tell he can't stand Leland, but you can't help but he's Leland's spiritual advisor, and Leland knows what he's doing. He's just sticking it to everybody. So, David is dealing with Leland. Kristen and Ben investigate the disappearance of Wyatt, a teenager who carved a pentagram on his bedroom floor and engraved EL game 842131. Now, that's the elevator game, and those are the floors of the buttons you have to press. Now, there is no 13th floor, so they had to figure out, the whole game. Okay, so so with Kristen's help, Kristen's daughters helping her, they found out that it refers to the elevator game, a Japanese ritual where pressing the buttons on an elevator in a certain order takes the rider to hell. Now, I don't know why anybody want to play this damn game, because I wouldn't want to play nothing like that. But, teenagers, they always got something crazy they want to do. And I was a teenager once, so but I never played these kind of games. I knew what to stay away from. So anyone that fails the game, the rules, fails to follow the rules of the game, causes one to be haunted, and those who are haunted are instructed to carve a pentagram. Okay, so before we jump into any further, I just want to say congratulations to Evil. They are renewed for season 3, okay, at Paramount Plus, and I'm excited for that. So this show is pretty good. I feel like since this show been on Paramount, it's given us, I feel like it's not holding back. It's giving us a lot more of different things, surprises, and they're going deep. It just feels deeper than they did on CBS, and I'm here for it. Okay, so Kristen, Ben, and her daughters look into the security footage of the last time Wyatt was seen, which shows him getting into the elevator and never coming out. Now, the police believe that he took the elevator to the roof where there are no cameras and took the stairs down and ran away. Of course, the police got to think everything else in a sensible manner. But Kristen and Ben decided to entertain the elevator game theory and give it a try. However, the building has no 13th floor, stopping them from completing the game. Now, as they are leaving, they run into one of Wyatt's friends, who reveals that Wyatt's girlfriend, Felicia, also disappeared playing in the elevator game. And he told them, this is very real, okay? This is a very real game. Don't play it, okay? She provides an audio of Felicia in the elevator, also struggling to figure out what to do about the lack of the 13th floor. And after that, she heard this screaming as she is plummeting to her death. Okay, so now we're going to talk about David and the church along with Leland. Now, David gives Leland his rosary beads to prepare him for his next exorcism. Leland puts on the beads and automatically starts rubbing his chest very frantically and then starts laughing, laughing with David. David is so irritated by Leland. It's ridiculous. I get the most laugh out of Leland because he's just hysterical. He just makes no sense at times. Leland is not dumb. He's very smart, but he's annoying. But he makes the show. I can't stop talking about Leland. But anyway, Leland returns the favor about taunting David, of course, about the church's lack of black representation and its racist past. David is tuning him out, but when he decides to speak about race and slavery for his first homily, he faces some pushback from the pastoral instructor for speaking about the controversy for controversy's sake. Meaning, they don't want him to talk about that at his first homily, or whatever you want to call that, but they do. Now, Ben calls his, girlfriend, his fling, whatever you want to call her, off and on thing, Vanessa, okay, for help understanding the elevator game, who takes him on a New York City ghost tour. They learn about Tiki, okay, a 14-year-old girl who was cut in half by an elevator and now haunts Wyatt's building. The ghost's name comes from the sound she makes with the fingernails as she's dragged her body along the floor. And that sound Kristen happens to hear the same night in her home. But, however, it turns out to be just Cheryl typing something on a computer or watching whatever she was watching on a computer. Okay, so when Ben and Vanessa did that tour, they had this Asian girl doing, the tour, and she was being very creepy. She was trying to give the creep vibes of the story. She did okay job, she did okay. So, Kristen heads back, to the building to test out the elevator game. This time, she has stopped between the 12th and the 14th floors. Okay. So as Kristen investigates, she hears the tiki sound and the wailing of somebody in the hallway. Now, the elevator suddenly moves up a little bit, trapping Kristen just as Tiki reveals herself. Because you can see her in the darkness, but you can't see her until she comes out fully, and she has a half body. She looks all ghoulish and horrible. She looks like something out of a horror movie. So Kristen sees this, and she screams, and she's trying to put her hand up into the elevator so that she could press the button, and she finally gets it. So now she's able to just free herself, just in time. And of course, she calls Dr. Boggs and blaming him because she said the prescription he gave her is making her have hallucinations. My thing about Kristen, this is what I can't stand about her. She sees these things are happening, but she refuses to believe that this is happening. She knows these things are happening, but she don't tell Ben, she don't tell David, and this is what pisses me off about her. Why is she not telling her peers? Why is she not talking to them about what she's seeing? But on the other hand, Ben is not talking about his little demon girlfriend either to Kristen or to David. So I can't be too mad with her, but she knows what's going on. And so does Ben. Ben knows something ain't right either, because that ugly demon girlfriend of his, he keep dreaming about or hallucinating about. He not telling Kristen, and I don't think he told David either. So I guess they're going to keep their little secrets, but they need to tell somebody something, because maybe David can help them. Okay, so David spends, goes over and chill with his friend Kevin. Um, he's a fellow black priest in training as well. The two attend some type of party with some renegade Catholics, right? Where David gets into an altercation defending his faith and the church. Okay, this captures the attention of a minister from a gospel church who invites David to stop by. Come there and you'll be home, he tells David. What the Catholic Church doesn't do, we will do. And that's what he told him. Okay, so we back to this elevator game, and Ben, decides he's going to go try this elevator thing out, figures out what happened with Felicia and Wyatt. He pressed the buttons for the first floor and the 13 floors, making the number 13. The elevator takes him to a sub-basement where he discovers the bodies. But he plays, for him to, I think he hit 1 and 3. Okay. Yeah, he pressed the first floor button, and the third floor button. And that makes 13. So that's how he was able to get downstairs to the sub-basement, where he discovers the decomposed bodies of both teenagers who starved to death after the elevator doors closed, trapping them. Okay. So now Ben figured out, and now he knows what's going on. And of course, while he is there, he is trying to get his thoughts together. And who pops up? His demon girlfriend. I tell you, I'd be so glad when they get rid of her, because she is a pain. But anyway, back to David. David is given permission to deliver his full homily, but the crowd is smaller than expected. Okay, now whether the church meddled in this, or I don't know why his crowd is small, but Kristen is there, and guess who else is in attendance? Leland. Leland is there with some popcorn. I'm sorry, but Leland is just something else. And but at least he came to support him. He is just sitting there in the back, just eating his popcorn like he's in a theater, okay? Oh my gosh. But Kristen showed up, and of course Leland was there to show support or to be aggravated, whatever which one he was doing. But Leland was something else. So Ben is still trapped under the in the building with his phone battery going dead. Kristen and Ben, they start talking, and it was like, have you seen Ben? And David asked when was the last time she saw him, and she was like, well, we talked about the elevator game. So, Ben starts typing up his last will and testament, writing his goodbye messages to his family and friends, as if he was really going to die. Like, that was very dramatic. We know Ben ain't going nowhere no time soon. Of course, Abby is her name, his demon girlfriend, who calls him out on his hypocrisy after he starts praying to Allah, just as all seems lost for him. The elevator doors open, revealing Kristen and David. I know they're going to come to the rescue, who were also able to figure out how to find the sub-basement. You're okay now? You okay now, buddy? Kristen tells a sobbing Ben. When that elevator door opened and that light shined in on his face, he hauled ass to that elevator door. Stay in the elevator, and they both went back in, and he jumped into that elevator. He was crying. He was just going through the motions, because I guess he felt like he was really about to just, it was going to be all the end for him, but we know it wasn't. And Kristen, consoled him. She was like, "You're okay now, buddy. You fine. You good." But of course, who's in the elevator with him? Abby. She's in the That demon ain't going nowhere no time soon. I wish she would, but I think she's not going anywhere no time soon. But, Abby is also in the elevator. And we don't know what's going to happen with Ben, but he'll be okay. So, Evil Season 3 got the green light to do the go ahead. I'm so excited for that because I absolutely love this show, and it gets better and better every time. Have you guys seen it? Did you catch up on those of you who haven't caught up on it? We are in episode 4, so you got 1, 2, and 3 to catch up on. It's really, really good. I enjoy these shows a lot because for some reason Leland has become, and I'm ashamed to say this, but Leland has become my favorite. Leland has become my favorite. And I hope him and Cheryl never gets back together, because if Cheryl go back to Leland, I'm cutting her off. I would never, ever want to see the sight of her face ever again. As for Kristen, I think she need to be a little bit more, how can I say this, trusting. But then again, Ben is not telling all what he's going through. So I kind of get Kristen as well. But I think she should talk to David about it. The things that she experienced when she goes out on these investigations and stuff like that. All right. So that's all I got for you tonight. I enjoyed this show. I don't know what next week's going to be. Let me check on it right now. I don't know what next week is going to be. All right, so next week is going to be episode 5, and it's going to be Z is for Zombies. Z is for Zombies. Oh, and that comes out the day after my birthday. Because my birthday is July 17th. So that comes out on July 18th. Oh, exciting. So none of these words spell out to anything, but I'm looking at the list of the following episodes. I would have thought that by the time they got to the last episode, it would have spelled out for something, but it doesn't spell out to anything. It could be an acronym for something, but we don't know until we get to the last episode. All right, you guys, well, that is it. And I will talk to you guys later. All right, how did you enjoy the show? Let me know in the comment section. Bye.